Okay, my loved ones, men and women of God. I hope you got something over the out of the last three podcasts I've done. Now, like I said, I know I keep saying this. I didn't plan this. This was not a financial miniseries that I planned. This just came off the cuff, came off my heart. And when I talk about something, majority of the time I don't plan it. And I know planning is much better, and I do plan things to talk about, but majority of what I talk about, period, especially when it comes to my podcasts, unless it's a Bible study, when I'm doing Bible study on connecting the dots, I have to study. I got to get myself uh, spiritually fit when I'm reading scriptures. I just can't open up unless I'm just, studied up already. But I have to plan when it comes to Bible study, you know. You have to be ready. You have to be prepared. And then you have to let the Holy Spirit walk you through. But when it comes to Body of Christ real talk or certain topics and subjects, for some reason I don't run out of things to talk about. And I don't say that to be bragging. I just, I might get tired and bored, but I can always find something to talk about. I can just turn my phone on and get to talking. And that's why you might hear me studying and flipping over my words because I'm thinking at the same time. But usually I'm flowing. And this, what I just got through talking about, is just something that I do. Is it a gift from God? It could be. I believe so. It ain't nothing I do on my own. I didn't train for this. I never went to school for this. None of this. Now I'm learning different exercises. Now I'm training for life coaching. Now, I just finished my short course on mental health. I just finished my short course on life coaching and stuff like that. It's things that I'm learning now. Brain, mind, and not brain, but mind exercising and stuff like that. Because I'm learning things now because of the advanced technology now out there. I'm learning, and I want to work on my communication skills and all that. See, those things I am working on, but I'm working on what they call that personal development more. Something I really never really thought about 15, 20 years ago. But personal development. And the way to survive today, you have to have some skills because everything becoming internet and becoming digital. So you need some skills, you know. And a lot of stuff that I talk about is not because I went to school for it. It's common sense, and I listen, and I do borrow some people's ideas, and I use a lot of my common sense and God gifted gifts that He bestowed upon me. I use it, and that's what I wanted to put up in there. What should we do, or what should we do with the gifts that God bestowed upon us as believers? And I can't see nothing better than helping others first. Build up other people, motivate them, especially if you have been successful in it. Okay. Now, even if I'm not successful or something, I can help you by motivating you. I might not know nothing about your skill or your gift or how to do it, or don't even have a desire to learn what you know. But I can motivate you, help you get to where you want to get to. You follow what I'm saying? Okay. To me, I'm successful in my weight loss. I'm successful in my weight loss because why? I know my ceiling. I know my goals. Now, let me give you an example when it comes to weight. You notice when you are overweight and fat, and people notice that, when you're overweight and fat, people don't say too much because they're used to seeing you that way. They're used to seeing you overweight. They're used to seeing fat. They're used to seeing you in bad health. Okay, well, let's just talk about overweight. When you grew up around certain people or and I'm talking about the people you grew up around and you know them. They used to, majority of your life, I don't care if you was little, they used to seeing you fat. They might even gave you name Chubby or Fat Rat. Like I knew my uncle name, they used to call him Fat Rat, because he was chubby then. But before he passed away, he wasn't. But before he was known most of the time being chubby. But my point is, when a person know you was always big boned and always fat and always overweight the majority of the time anyway. They see you small too, but they know the majority of the time you was fat. And all of a sudden they see you losing weight. Now, I'm not talking about you losing weight because you're sick or something like that. And some people might think that because they used to you, the first thing coming to mind, you sick because they used to you being fat. When you do lose weight, the first thing I wonder is they okay. Why do people do that? Like you can't go on a diet and lose weight. They assume that you are sick. Why? Because the majority of the time they used to send you overweight and fat. So when they do, they might say it in a way. People could say things, but what they say in their head is totally different. What do I mean by that? People can say, wow, you losing that weight. What are you doing? But in their mind, they say, man, you look sick. Something must be wrong. He losing weight or she losing weight. You understand what I'm saying? You could say a lot of things yourself and people. You say things, but your mind is saying something different. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of people do that. I done it. You have done that. Said something to somebody. Man, boy, what are you doing? You looking good. You losing weight. But in your mind said, man, you look kind of sickly. Or you might say, man, what are they losing weight? Why? You only say that because you've been knowing that person for so long, and the majority of the time they have been fat or overweight. Now, when a person has been small in their life and they kind of pick up weight, it's not that much attention. It's almost like it's normal. Where they getting older or they eating a lot. You always seem like you got the solution why a person pick up weight, fat. The first thing you say is, oh, they must be overeating. You don't say depression or stressed out. You might say because they overeating or something like that, especially if they've been small the majority of their life or their gut is big. You might say, man, they picked up a lot of weight. Boy, that joker eating or he don't want to put that fork down or something like that. But when a person has been fat mostly all their life and they losing weight, it's just the opposite. You think something wrong with them. Or you think something is sick. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying everybody. But you understand what I'm saying? You see that psyche, you see the psychology in that. The way we think sometimes. The opposite of a person that picked up weight compared to a person that lost weight. It's kind of a different way you kind of look at it. Especially if you're getting older and you pick up weight. But if you've been fat the majority of your life and overweight or obese the majority of your life and all of a sudden you lose weight, a lot of people think something is wrong because they're usually saying you fat. Okay. But this is the other thing that gets me with a person. You can tell a person that you're losing weight or you're on some type of diet and they see you losing the weight. And check this out. Listen closely. And the person said, man, you losing that weight, boy. And then they say, man. And they see you again, boy, you losing all that weight. Don't lose too much. You don't want to look like so-and-so and whatever like that, like you're losing too much. And then that might hurt some people's feelings when they say that. Don't lose. You start to believe what they're saying. And they don't know nothing about health or nothing like that because they still overweight. And some of it is jealousy and envy, yes. But I'm just talking about a person that's even sincere. They might be said, don't lose too much weight. You might look too sick. Or you might whatever. Not understanding scientifically. That's your real size. That is your real size. Or you try to get to your real size and weight. But by them seeing you overweight the majority of your life, you might look sickly or funny to them because they don't know what your natural weight was, or they don't remember. They don't have no educated scientific, how am I supposed to say that? Scientific proof or data of what your real size and weight supposed to be. That God wants us to be. Most of us don't know that. Even most scientists don't know that. But I know one thing, nobody's supposed to be fat. God didn't create nobody to be fat. Just as much he didn't create nobody to be underweight and skinny or malnourished. See, all of us, if we was perfect, and when I go to the heavenly places, I'm going to have my perfect weight. See, there's not going to be any underweight or overweight people in the heavenly places. We're going to have our perfect bodies. Did you know that? Well, you know it now. You ever thought about that, saints? If you fat now, and I don't mean it in a bad way, you're not going to be fat in heaven. See, you're going to have your perfect weight. I have no doubt. Why? We was created, listen closely, we was created to have a normal weight body, but God knew the stuff we eat, the lack of exercise and different type of chemicals, and sin itself was going to deform our bodies as well as our mind and our hearts. So never think you was born and call yourself big boned like me and a lot of others we used to do. That's our normal size. No, it is not. There's a reason why a lot of us is big. Remember, we live in imperfect vessels. There's nothing perfect on earth. So even an underweight and overweight is affected by sin and other imperfect things that happens, food and whatever. So when a person says, time running out 3 minutes and 47 seconds. When a person says that don't lose too much weight, you look so small, you're going to look sickly. They don't even understand you're not even near your normal weight. They just used to seeing you overweight. Now, things does change with your skin and hanging skin and stuff like that if you don't exercise and whatever like that. I can understand that, but still, even with the lack of exercise and the flabby and the hanging skin, that do look bad now. Even when you lose weight the healthy way, you need to tone up and exercise and do some walking and stuff like that. Cardiovascular workout or whatever like that. I can understand they worry then. But even when you're not looking like that, some people always say you're losing too much weight. Don't get too small. What is too small? See, you need to ask somebody, okay, what is too small to you? Do you know my weight? Do you know what I'm supposed to be or what size I'm supposed to be? You understand what I'm saying? Most people have no idea what they mean when they say that. Some of it is out of jealousy. Yes, it is. Some people just jealous, especially if they're overweight. And then you have some people that's really concerned because they're really concerned. They don't know why they're concerned. They just used to seeing you overweight and fat. So what is losing too much? It is a such thing of losing too much, but what is it? Most people don't know. It's just they're not used to seeing you that way. It's just like if you gained a lot of weight. They really pinpointed where they must be eating too much or whatever like that. You picking up too much weight. But when you're losing the weight, they might say, well, don't lose too much. See, you see, it's never said you either picking up too much or you're losing too much. What is that? See, you have different cycles what people think. Now, what I want to end this little series on that I just brought up, financially. See, people would do the same thing. You're making too much, or you're not making enough. Who gave you the audacity to tell me how much I'm making too much and how much I'm not making enough? Especially when it comes to gurus. You making $5,000 or $10,000 a month. And a guru would tell you, man, if you ain't making $20,000 a month, you live below your means. You ain't thinking big enough. We need to get out of that. So that's why I'm talking about this now. Nobody told me this. This is just common sense to me. This is something I'm thinking about. I never thought about this before, and I think about this now. It's okay to have a financial ceiling. You know what's going to satisfy you and your family. If you have a family, if you have a wife, if you have kids. Y'all talk about this. Her ceiling might be different than yours, but I'm talking about yours. You need to come together and everything like that. Know your financial ceiling. It will keep you out of a lot of trouble. And also, you could become, and I could become financially free if we know our limits and our financial ceiling. That's the key of financial freedom for any individual if you have a ceiling. I ain't talking about everybody else's ceiling. I'm talking about yours, and you be honest with yourself. You just want your needs and your wants met. That's all you need. What does it take? Think about that. Real talk.